Well, it's the last lap of the program. Food prices in Nigeria are increasing due to steady inflation and varying from state to state. Ahead of inflation rate figure due for this weekend, prices have continued to rise. Recall cost of food in Nigeria increased 7.20% in March of 2022 over the same month in the previous year, the fastest rise in food prices since last December. Prices of imported food rose 17.56% year-on-year in March, accelerating from a 17.48% advance in February. All right, let's get talking right away. iBrandTV reporter Kali Obi was tracking the prices of food across the Lagos market. Is there to give us some update here. Kali Obi, welcome.
Thank you so much, Frank.
Okay, so I mean, where do we begin? The last time you were here, we talked about how prices of food
has increased,
has increased, and going to market, you have to be, well loaded with money, with cash, if you really want to afford, food items. So give us update now, bring us up to speed. Give us samples of some of the food items you've seen, your survey, and some of the analysis you've done in the market so far.
So far, like they will say, so far so good. Going into the market with the things that we have to buy to be able to live a healthy life, have something else. I mean, like for the rice, going back to, let's start with the rice. So 50 kg rice, we have the local rice and we have the foreign rice. For the local rice, for the 50 kg is about 26,500, and it's not stable. Because
that's the local rice, 26,500.
That's the Nigerian rice. It's 26,500, and they have the small rice, they have the long grain, they have the long grain and the small grain. So so far I heard the long grain is more expensive than the small grain. With the long grain is going for 38, the small grain is going for between 25, 26. So it's not stable. Last week it was cheaper. This week
that's because the demand has changed. Perhaps we've seen more demand going for foreign rice. I mean the long grain, the longer one than the shorter one.
Yes.
Okay.
So then we move to the tomato. Then the basket of tomato, they said last week was 18,000 for a basket, and today is going for 10,000.
Right.
And though some people got it for 6,000, that 6,000 is the one that the basket that fell from the trailer while they were trying to offload the basket from the trailers. That's the trailer.
More like what you call sport
one. So that one is for 6,000, while the fresh one is for 10,000. That's today. While last week it went for 18,000.
So what you can say is more cheaper now than what it was last week.
Yeah, than what it was last week. So the prices are stable. Today it might be up, then tomorrow is down.
Can we say the reason why we're having it cheaper now is because we're having more some of these products coming
to Lagos?
Because I'm trying to understand why we had it last week on the high side and now we're having it cheaper.
Because when I spoke to one of the market people, that's one of the trailers, the traders, the drivers, or the traders, the people in the market, that's the Mite market. They said sometimes they will have a whole lot of supply in the Mite market. That is the market. Then the prices go down. But when they don't have much supplies, then the prices go up. So it depends on how many drivers are bringing these goods into Lagos.
Into Lagos. So let's categorize this. This class of food items. Of course, you have the tuber, which is yam. You have, of course, plantain in that category, and then of course you have the cereals. Of course, you also have the grains, which is rice, beans, and all of that. In that basket, which is more or in more demand than others now? Let's look at that before we go further.
No, if we look at food, you don't say this is more, people are demanding for this or more than this. But we'll look at the yam aspect. Let's go into the yam area. The yam, for now, bringing yam into the country or into Lagos is on the high side, because when I spoke to one of the
because of transportation.
Yeah, because of transportation, the drivers now are demanding for 1.2 million just to bring in a trailer load of yam into Lagos, and this is Benue. We're not even gone to Kaduna,
the far north,
that's the further north where this yam come from. Just from Benue, bringing a trailer load of yam into Lagos is 1.2. That's what the drivers demand from these traders, demand from these people that are
think
bringing
the cost of food also. Yes, I understand that. Yeah, it's inflation figures and all of that and all that. But of course, we also don't have to leave transportation out, which is very crucial and very important aspect of the process of bringing these food items or this produce from the north as well. But again, we also understand that, for instance, a truck that uses run on diesel. I mean, diesel has gone up in the last 1 month or 2 months thereabout, from 300, 400 to about 700 per liter. Again, so one would, of course, it's not surprising if we start seeing some of these traders factoring in the cost of transportation and pass it down to the consumers as well. It's
not even just the diesel or the transportation, cost of transportation that's making these things expensive. Or making the drivers to put more money on everything that they had to put, the products that they had to load in their traders, in their whatever they have, the trucks, trucks that they used to bring these goods to Lagos. It's also the money that they spend on the road. They say, bringing these trucks or bringing these products to Lagos, they have to pay and pay and pay to every government, that's the police, the custom, and if they keep dropping money to every custom or every police officer that they meet on the road, they add everything that they spend on this product, or to that they add everything, and these traders have to pay back. And when if this diesel is being bought for 700 and they have to buy like 20 liters or 30 liters depending on how much to fuel these trucks, but this money does not just come from the diesel itself. They have to add every money that is spent on the road before bringing this product. They have to factor that into it before they can start selling.
I need you to, let's look at the prices of 5 liter of vegetable oil. You have 5 liter of palm oil. Yes, we've talked about the basket of tomatoes, the prices of chili pepper. We also need to understand how much it goes for now. Yeah, the prices of baskets of what they call bawa. Pepper. Yes, price of an average size of yam. Let's look at also potatoes as well. You talk to us about corn. Of course, is the season.
The season is almost here. It doesn't look like the season.
Yeah, the season is almost here. I mean, it's seasonal. For those who plant very close to the river or who use irrigation, of course, it's corn is out there. But the main season, it's between you look at August, September, and then October. That's the main season which come. Those who have to use the normal natural rainy season to farm, and so that's when it comes. But it's out there. Give us a bit of the prices of some of these products. From, you've talked about tomato earlier, but for vegetable oil and palm oil, let's start from there.
Okay, I have to look into it. For the vegetable oil, we're looking at the 5 liters oil that's going for 6,000. And this wasn't the price last week. Last week it was 5,000. So if you're buying like a liter, as we said the last time I was here, a liter that ought to be 350, 400 is now 500. So now 5 liters is going for 6,000 naira in the market. And going to the palm oil for 5 liters is 5,000. And they said last week it was 4,500. So the prices are not stable.
So just in about a month, the price has jumped by almost 30%, 40%
than the normal
price. Yeah. I mean, the inflation figure is just before I let you go, Kali. Inflation figure is just around the corner. I mean, one wonders if we're going to see the prices of these food items being heavily impacted on some of the figures we're expecting, because by this weekend, of course, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics is supposed to release its April inflation figure. And so perhaps we expect that the prices we are seeing, updating some of the prices of those food items, will be impacted heavily on the figures by this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. It's what is everybody. It's like it's no longer a news to Nigerians that things will go up, because if we look into the news when they from the Abuja, what is happening about the diesel and the marketers complaining, they can't bring in products all in the because of the high rate of diesel and because of that fuel, that's the MLS, that's PMS can be brought into Lagos. That shows that the more so we should watch out for scarcity, for scarcity, right?
I think what they are saying basically.
So if we listen to all the stories and all the everything that is trending on the social media, in the news, we are so sure that there will be high rates of
there's going to be increase in inflation
items,
rate and all of that. I think again what that story is also talking about is the fact that there were some transportation claims that was outstanding transportation that was supposed to be paid to these independent marketers, especially those who lift fuel from Lagos to the far north, and then some of them have not been paying, amounting to about 500 billion. That's also outstanding. But we hope that they will be able to resolve this at the end of the day to ensure that everything is back to normal. But on this note, I want to thank you, Kali Obi, is so iBrand reporter and anchor. Thank you for your time on Business Breakfast.
You're welcome.
We'll do this next time again.